Hey yo, we're back playing some more Your Boyfriend, because it seems like that's what everyone really likes. And I really like this game too, so I'm continuing on. This is one of the games that I actually care about seeing all the endings. Welcome, name, you two have fun. But yeah, I want to see all the endings. This time we're doing the mean route. Or maybe abusive route? My life has been chaotic. My family broke out into another fit of drama, so I left the nest, ran straight to college, and got an apartment and a job. But lately my job at a greasy spoon diner has been unbearable. The job doesn't pay the best, so that meant I had to find a roommate to afford an apartment. And now my roommate is always bringing some dropout into our apartment for late night study sessions. My sleep schedule is wrecked, and, even better, the rent on the apartment is late. I had heard once that if you became a roommate with a friend, you won't stay friends for long. In my case, the friendship gets strained thinner as my friend keeps making excuses why they need me to cover their half of the rent. Thanks to that deadbeat, I'm working harder just to lose money on the rent. I'm nearly broke, and getting a second job feels like it will kill me. At least in this park, I have some alone time. Right, you're all alone. I've always loved this part of the park. It's untouched by obnoxious family members and college shirks. The only people who come here are the groundskeepers. Even then, they only come by in the morning. Closing my eyes, I rub my face and huff out the tension in my lungs so that I could calm down enough to enjoy the peace and quiet. Just then, I feel someone sit down beside me. Startled, I turn and look towards the interloper.
Whoa, hey, take it easy. It's just me.
It's you, the stranger says, trying to keep me from leaping too high off the park bench. You're a jumpy one, aren't ya? He smiles and scoots himself closer to me, shyly and awkwardly. I keep my eyes on him, unsure what his intentions are. His unblinking eyes don't stray from mine, not once. So, are you waiting for a family member or a friend? It just seems kind of odd for you to be sitting here, all alone like this, and so far away from the jogging track. A chill runs down my spine. I cross my arms over my chest and slide myself away from him and closer to the edge of the bench. How often does a sane person walk up to you out of the blue and start asking such questions? Not often, for me at least. He picks up on my unease and refrains from sliding any closer. He crosses his fingers in between his legs and smiles warmly. I mean, you don't look like a groundskeeper or one of the old people feeding pigeons after doing Tai Chi. No, I'm just getting some alone time to myself. Things have been pretty intense lately. He scoots himself even closer, his hand nearly touching mine as he smiles shyly.
Look, I know this is sudden, very sudden, but may I have the pleasure in taking you out to dinner?
May I have the pleasure? Never mind, he was the weird one. I can't tell if he's a bit awkward or just eccentric. What? Why? Why do they have such an interest in me?
Well, I'm your boyfriend. Isn't that why you're here?
My boyfriend? Why would he be assuming we're in a relationship? There's an awkward silence as the stranger sits, patiently waiting for my answer. We're gonna say, dinner does sound nice. I guess. It's not like I'm doing anything anyways, and it would be a nice break from the monotony. God knows I could stand to forget my problems for a few hours, and this guy seems interesting enough to keep my mind off things. Really? That's great. He beams, taking hold of my hand into his own. I'll see you tonight at 7. He was about to stand up from the bench, but pauses abruptly when he realizes he was forgetting something. Oh, I almost forgot. We need a place to meet up. Sorry, I know that I sound absent-minded, but I'm just so excited. How about that old diner downtown? It's nice and quiet so no one will disturb us. The diner downtown? Which one? You know, the one that you work at. Oh, okay. Great! See you tonight! And just like that, he hurries off with a leap in every step, looking as though he had just won the lottery. I watch him as he disappears down a path that bends around a shallow hill and out of view. The park was quiet again, and the serene loneliness sets in once more. It's just me and a few songbirds singing in the nearby trees. I sit for a while, replaying the strange encounter in my head a few times. I suppose that I should be flattered that he took such an interest in me. I can't tell if meeting someone like that is normal or not. It's nothing like I've seen in movies or television. But then again, if I were Hollywood attractive, maybe it would be so normal that it would be almost annoying. I feel my cheeks flush as I think about him saying, "May I have the pleasure?" A shy smile creeps from the corner of my mouth. He must be as new to this as I am. What a shy, awkward guy. The bird stops singing, and as I feel a knot grow in the pit of my stomach. How did he know where I work? "7 p.m. I show up at the diner, feeling rather unusual about meeting someone at the place that I work at for a completely spontaneous dinner date. And with a complete stranger who knew that I worked here. Weird. I take a seat at a booth towards the back. The diner isn't very busy tonight, which is less unusual than most people would assume, even though I work here. This isn't where I would choose to eat at. Maybe he was another customer that I'd never paid attention to. While I work, I let my mind drift. After a while, I do my job as if I were on autopilot. I don't really pay that much attention to names and faces, even towards regulars. Maybe he was one of those regulars, building up his courage to ask me out every day, but kept losing his nerve. It's kind of cute, though. But do I really want this to be a thing? Taking my seat, I wait. I look at the old-fashioned neon light clock that hangs over the jukebox. He's 5 minutes late. I might as well buy myself a milkshake while I wait. The waitress on tonight's shift is surprised to see me at the diner on my day off. I imagine that she'll tell me job loyalty is one thing, but the food here isn't worth writing home about. After serving this stuff for a few months, I agree with her. But at least the milkshakes are good. They're the really old-fashioned kind, made with real ice cream and ingredients, not the powdered mix and flavored syrup like the fast food places. The waitress must have been less busy than I assumed because she brought my shake to me only a few minutes later. I pull the spoon from the vintage-looking ice cream glass and lick it clean. So good. I stir the shake a little before I take a sip. A man rushes in through the diner's front doors. He looks like he ran the whole way here with something tucked carefully in his arm. I immediately recognize his sleeveless hoodie and blue shirt. He quickly scans the diner in a bit of a panic. He was running late and probably thought that I may have already left. I was one of the few people in the diner, but he still didn't seem to see me very quickly. I wave him over. A smile of relief spreads across his face. Still winded, he hurries down the row of booths and sits across from me. "You're late." I know. I'm so sorry. I had to make a quick stop. He speaks between breaths. I don't know where he came from, but he must have ran the whole way when he realized that he was running late. Giving a timid smile, he pulls out the long white box that he was carrying. He places it on the table and slides it over to me. "Here, I bought this for you. Thinking about earlier today in the park, it might have been a little creepy to ask you for a date on the spot. I thought I might get you a little something as a way of apologizing. If it was awkward for you, of course." He got something for me. Really? It better not be a severed ear or fingers or something. Opening the box, I look inside. I see 2 long-stemmed roses with deep red petals. The thorns were removed, and they are bound by a shimmering black silk ribbon. As much as I want to say, "Oh, they're lovely, thank you," we're gonna say, "Roses? Seriously? Gee, thanks." I look at the creepy black ribbon, wondering if there's a card that reads, "To my future murder-suicide." Not at all thrilled with the gift as I place it callously on the table in front of him. His face drops and he reaches to take them back. "Oh, I'm sorry if you don't like them. I could head out and get you something else. What do you like? Daisies? Sunflowers? Lilies?" I fold my arms, annoyed with how pathetic he was being. "Come on, you show up late, bring me some roses that look like they came from a funeral home, and I had to buy myself a milkshake while waiting for you. Do you think that some cliche roses are going to make up for this?" His shoulders fall. Holding the roses close to his chest, he mutters awkwardly. I'm so sorry. I'll pay for the milkshake. He's a pathetic little guy, isn't he? He's bending over backwards to try and make it up to me. How did you know I work here anyways? Wanting to know why he knew about this place, I stir my milkshake and wait as he fumbles over his thoughts. Oh, I walk by here often, almost every day in fact. I catch little glimpses of you through the window whenever you're working, so that's how I know. I mean, I try coming in to see you, but I lose my courage every time. Well, that's not creepy or anything. He sinks more into his seat. God, I feel so bad. I'm sorry. His whimpering eyes look up to mine. I'll make it up to you. I'll take you out to a nicer place next time, and I'll be more punctual too, I promise. He clutches the roses to his chest as if in prayer. This man is desperate, isn't he? He's acting like a drowning man, mentally paddling to keep his head above water. I reach for my milkshake after my tummy rumbles at me. Less talking, more eating. As the thought of ice cream chilling my parched tongue passes, I think about the empty fridge at the apartment. Nothing in it but ice trays and sauce packets. I could go for a decent meal at a better place. Pulling the soft treat closer to me, I start eating. Keeping the creepy man in suspense, I take my time, intentionally ignoring him whenever he tries to start a conversation. It was surprising that he hadn't counted his losses and left already. He must be very desperate to want to make it up to me. I lick the spoon clean, let out a satisfied sigh, and lean back in my seat. Alright, I suppose I could give you a second chance, I mutter, mainly to myself, and lick the bits of ice cream from the corner of my lips. His posture immediately straightens. Really? You mean it? But you had better be on time, and bring chocolates. I ordered before standing up from the table. Talking next to him, I pointed to a napkin dispenser on the table. Write your number, and I might call you when I've got some spare time. Yes, of course, he stutters, snatching a napkin and pulling a pen from his pocket. He quickly writes down his number on the paper before handing it to me. I'll do better, much better next time. Taking the napkin, I look at the number and notice that there's no name on it. Are you trying to be anonymous or something? I show him the napkin and tap my finger where the name should be. He goes eerily quiet. The uneasy, pathetic expression that he wore turns to pure disgust. My name's a joke, you know. To be honest, I would prefer to go by whatever you prefer to call me. What, you hate your name that much? He nods before looking back up at me. He squeezes the pen. You can call me Cockbite for all I care. That's what I deserve for such a terrible evening. He did have a point. Okay, how about... we are gonna call him Peter? Because that is the most disrespectful thing you could do. Like, if someone really hates their name that much, wants to be called something else, calling them their name is so offensive. Wait, what was that? How did you know my real name? Ugh. I hate my name. Were you talking to girlfriend? Did she tell you my real name? No, seriously, pick another name. Peter. Wow, you're really adamant on calling me Peter, aren't you? Fine, we'll go with that then. I don't know. I think it fits. You may not like it, but can you smile for me, Peter? And then asking them to smile like that. Come on, that's horrible. He gives a little smile and nods. He writes it down on the fragile bits of disposable paper before handing it back to me. I like that a lot better, really. No, I feel like that line's not supposed to be there. Just pay for my shake. That's supposed to be if you give him a different name. I roll my eyes before taking my leave. It was getting dark after all, and I didn't like walking home at night. I walked by the waitress and tell her that the guy in the sleeveless hoodie was paying for the shake. She could tell that I was in one of those moods and just shrugged silently. I didn't look back before I left. So mean! We're so mean to Peter. I don't like it. It was getting cold outside, and I could feel my skin growing goosebumps. Maybe it was the dropping temperature or the ice cream cooling me from the inside out. I don't know. I glanced back at the diner to make sure that creep Peter wasn't following me. He sat twisted around in the booth, watching me leave. He waved, but I turned and kept walking. I took a sharp, unusual turn down a road opposite where I live, just in case. It will take more time to circle back and get home, but better safe than sorry. By the time I passed the diner a second time, he was no longer in the booth by the window, but the waitress was cleaning the plates from his table. At least that weirdo enjoyed a meal. My stomach growled bitterly. Next time I'll make him order me everything on the menu, just out of spite. Damn, it's getting cold out. I don't like being mean to Peter. Once back at my place, I groan loudly when I overhear my roommate and their study partner doing much more than studying. Walking by their room, I pound loudly on the door. Jesus, other people are trying to live here, you know. I yell before storming into my room. I wasn't expecting the thing to shake. Flopping onto my bed, face down and limbs out, I let out a long, miserable groan. I take a moment to rest before rolling over onto my back to stare at the ceiling. With the napkin in my hand, I look at the sloppy handwriting. Giving a scoff, I toss it to the floor by the bed. I'm not even going to bother with him right now. I have too much to deal with at work tomorrow that I don't need a whiny creep on my mind. Too tired to even get undressed, I roll over and drift to sleep. Oh, okay, so that's clearly the end of day 1 of the mean route, and I hate it. I don't like being mean to Peter. I mean, he kind of deserves it, even though he's kind of a killer and all that. Kind of deserves it. But man, I hate it. Okay, well, anyway. Thanks for watching, and we should have the second episode of this up soon. Hopefully soon. So, if you subscribe, maybe you'll be able to see it then. You won't miss it. Anyway, see ya. Bye.